Hey everybody, welcome to another session of The Whole Truth with JB Greer. Man, it's like God give me so much stuff, man. Sometimes I'm like, Lord, you're so amazing. Your word is so awesome. You just, man. Anyway, today we are going to talk about what are you willing to cut in order to please God? Or for the abbreviated version, you need to cut it. I'm sure some of you have heard that song, You Need to Cut It. Today we're going to talk about you need to cut it. So I want to direct your attention to the 17th chapter of Genesis. And here we see Abraham having a conversation with God about covenant. And God is telling him what he needs to do in order to be in covenant with him. He said, every male in your house, whether it's your son or if you bought him in slavery or whatever, they need to be circumcised so that this covenant is between me and you is right. And so, of course, God tells him how to do everything. And then it says, and that day, Abraham circumcised himself and his son Ishmael. Man, let's dive into that a little bit. This man wanted to be so right with God that he was willing to cut himself and get rid of what he didn't need or what was separating him from God. Let's dive a little deeper. There were no surgical tools involved in this matter, so it wasn't a clean cut. He probably took a sharp rock and circumcised Ishmael and himself. And you got to think about that, man. You know what kind of pain he must have been in to cut himself like that, to take that rock until he got it all off. Oh, God, man, just thinking about it is painful. But one of the things that God challenged me to look at is, what is it in your life that you're not willing to cut to get close to me? Sometimes we have relationships we refuse to cut. We have people we refuse to cut. We're doing things and habits and sin that we refuse to cut, and it's keeping us from having covenant with him. Those things separate us when we're not ready to cut them off. Oh, it's too painful. I've been knowing them too long, and I just can't see myself without them. And God is saying, if you cut them, I got something better for you. If you just go and make that cut, it's going to hurt. But I promise you, I'm going to fulfill my word to you. This is what he told Abraham. I want to fulfill my covenant with you, but I need you to be in right standing with me. Am I preaching circumcision? Absolutely not. But what I'm saying, there are some things in our lives that we do need to cut. We need to cut it out altogether. If you are thinking that you can look at porn and be anointed, it's wrong. You can't. You got to cut it. If you thinking you can cheat on your wife and be anointed, you cannot. You got to cut it. Whatever is in your life that's wrong, you've got to cut it. If you doing drugs, getting your little on the side, you think, oh, I'm going to be straight, I'm still anointed, you got to cut that noise. Anything that's separating you from God has to be cut. If you don't cut it and you let it grow, the more it grows, the more it pushes you away from God further and further and further and further and further away until eventually you can't even hear his voice or feel him anymore. So that's my message for today is you need to cut it. What's in your life right now? Take inventory. What is it that's separating me from the perfect will of God? Is it this person I've been seeing on the side that I should have been let go a long time ago? Is it this relationship I'm in and God is not pleased with it? Have I taken something that I wasn't supposed to take and I'm holding on to it and God says cut it? There was a story of a man named Achan. They went into battle, Joshua and the children of Israel went into battle, and God told him, don't take anything. This guy decided he was going to steal some stuff, and it cost other people their lives. He was going to keep the stuff under his bed and do what he wanted to do instead of cutting it. A lot of times we are like Achan, we holding on to stuff that God is saying, you should have never took that in the first place. You should have never got in that relationship to start with. You should have never did what you was doing to start with. You should have never picked up that alcohol. You should have never picked up this or that. You need to cut it. Yeah, it's going to be painful. I ain't going to lie to you. I can't even imagine taking a sharp rock and circumcising my foreskin off so that I could be close to God. so that I could be in covenant with him, so I could do what's right with him. In our lives, we have to do the same thing. I'm not saying we have to cut our foreskin, don't be facetious, but there are some things in our life that are um, equivalent to that foreskin that we need to cut. So that's the word for today. Cut it quick, be done with it, go through the pain, and let God bring the healing. Whatever it is you're holding on to that you don't want to let go, or you can't give up, or you just can't, it's just, I'm going to die if I let this go. You're going to die if you keep it. And you're going to die spiritually, physically, and mentally if you hold on to it. Cut it loose. Get in right standing with God. Cut off everything. It might be a TV show. God's telling you to cut that out. It's feeding your spirit too much trash. So it's just do some inventory on your life. I've had to do it on my own. I had to cut certain people. I had to cut relationships. I had to cut them off and not be mean to them, but cut them off because this ain't working. You're not taking me to Christ. You pulling me away from him. Well, that's the word today from the Lord. That's the whole truth with J.B. Greer. I hope you were blessed. I hope you were encouraged. Hey, man, this is a real walk that we have with him every day. We have to cut something out that's keeping us from him. Y'all be blessed. I look forward to seeing you soon. Peace.